Okay, I love a bit of sparkling water, so in this video I'm going to unpack why you have nothing left in your tank for creativity at the end of the day, the week, or whenever it is you blocked out some time for you to try and make it happen. I was talking to someone during the week and I said, look, if I could wave my magic creative guide wand and, make next week a completely empty week, no work, the kids were still at school, your significant other was still working, so, and someone was going to take care of all the stuff around the house. So it wasn't like a holiday, you didn't have to go away, you didn't have to plan anything, but like, what would you do with your time? And they stopped for a minute to think, and they were like, I'm just tired. I think I'd have to start with a couple of days off, and I'd need a nap and probably a few. And I think that that's not an uncommon experience at all. Like, even seeing people who are full-time creatives, like, they cannot do it full-time. Like, you cannot work a 40, 60, 80 hour of full creative output. There's ebbs and flows, and even within the weeks and months, there's ebbs and flows, whether you're sensitive to the lack of sunlight, or you're sensitive to what the phases of the moon, or if you're female and you've got your own cycles that are like causing havoc within your body. Like, there's all of these things that come and go. Like, there's distractions in life. Even if you have everything really well organized, stuff happens, like the car breaks down, or your parents get sick and you've got to like focus your energy on that. There are so many things that just come and cause these hiccups, but especially for people who don't have creativity as their like full-time job, it's even more complicated. And in this video, I'm going to unpack why it is. Not just give you tools to move on, and we'll get there. I've got some prepared, but let's go a little bit deeper in this one. I think in some of my previous videos, I've given you kind of strategies and things you can try, and they're really helpful because there's a point that you get to where you need to create space for your creativity. And it's not just space for your creativity, there's space for so many other things that have to happen to support your creativity. Because the way I think about it is, I was actually just filling up my glass of water earlier, so when you fill up your cup, it's almost like the creative and the art and whatever that thing of beauty is, the bit that flows over the top once you have a full life. I don't think you can create with little dregs at the bottom. And when we do, it's not nearly as energized or fluid or engaged or passionate as when it's coming from that sense of overflow and exuberance and energy. And yes, we have to figure out ways to connect and do it. And I absolutely believe the idea that Stephen Pressfield talks about in The War of Art, when he talks about there is no muse and you just have to sit down and do it at 9 a.m. every morning. He does it. And some of my previous videos I talked about Isaac Asimov, who said he didn't believe in a writer's block and he just sits down and blocks out his time. And I do think there is a real important piece about that. But if you've gotten yourself into a stage in life where you have a full-time job that might be creative, but it's not your preferred creative outlet, and you're trying to carve out time to make that happen on the weekend, or maybe in the evenings, or maybe it's something that you have seasons of, I think it's important to understand how you've gotten there. And in my experience, just to get right down to brass tacks, often for people who have full-time jobs that pay the bills and make life happen, put food on the table, there's been a disconnect between their sense of value around their creativity, and on one hand they've gone, I really appreciate this creativity, I love it, but I'm never going to make a living as a artist, musician, writer, whatever that description might be. So I have all these other skills over here. So, oh, like somebody's offering me a job, let's go and take that. And it leads you down this route, maybe parallel for a bit, maybe completely opposite, tangentially. And you're going, okay, well, that can support me. But over time, there's that escalation of responsibilities. I've talked about this before only because it keeps coming up. And what happens is this sense of value and purpose, and this isn't just around creativity, this is around so many things. It's around who you are as a person, and why it feels painful for you is because you know that there's something creative, something important, something deep that you have to pursue and go after. And the piece that's causing attention and causing that tug of war between your creativity and your life responsibilities, and you're in the middle being pulled apart, is because that's you. It's the essence of who you are, and it's the piece that you're noticing is the symptom of the creativity going, I want to get out. And I've described it before as like not being able to breathe. Like I had somebody in the comments during the week saying that, it was their sense of self, their sense of purpose, like that they got depressed, and that's so visceral and real and true. And if you're feeling that, like that's a wake-up call to say, do something, and engage something and try and make something happen. But it's so much deeper than just your creativity. It's actually deeply connected to who you are as a person and how you're knit together, how your experiences, how your view on life, all of those things have come into the being that is you. And so many of the things that I've talked about on this channel before are around trying to create space, create energy, to make time, to be able to craft something that's true to you. But the really deep work that we're called to is connecting back to ourselves, connecting back to that, that little child, or that sense of wonder, that sense of curiosity, that sense of connection to yourself. That's you, but it's also bigger than you. It's your place in the world. And this might be sounding really like esoteric and out there and woo-woo, and if it is, then like that's okay. But I guess this is really, the place that I'm coming from, the place where I'm trying to explain that when we are connected, when you are connected to your true self, when you're deeply connected to your art, when you're living in line with your purpose and your values, then you're going to show up in the world with just this sense of joy and wonder and exploration. You're going to be an amazing parent, friend, partner, lover, artist, musician, explorer, adventurer. And it can be really hard to try and come back to those places. But ultimately, I believe that that's what we're called to do, and we're called to live in alignment to that. And ultimately, that's what I'm here to help with. That's why I'm here, why I want to do this, because I have walked alongside people for such a long time and helped them to understand their true value, whether that was in corporate settings, and whether that was personally in one-to-one, whether that was in coaching or just guiding people. But there's something like really deep. There's something really important about you standing at this place right now and hearing this message, like, I think it's time for you to take some action and to invest in yourself. If you've been feeling this disconnect, and whether it's something you and I ever work on, that's fine. I want you, for the people around you, for your local community, for the world, to be able to show up for yourself. Okay, and I've put together a starter kit. There's going to be a link in the description, and it's free. It's going to take you through how to create some space and how to kind of get over some of the digital distractions that are getting in our way at the moment. But it's not about me trying to get you to come and do any work with me. It's not about that at all. I want you to explore who you are and show up for who you are. I genuinely just think that there's something really important there. If you're watching this and going, what's Riley talking about? I've got no idea. Then maybe this message isn't for you. But if something that I've said resonates and deeply connects to you, I think it's really important for you to carve some space in your day, in your week, to start to listen to that voice, listen to that calling, listen and understand what it is that, you're hearing, what you're experiencing, what's coming up for you. And how do I know this? Because I've been there. I've been at a place where I've been so disconnected from myself that I couldn't describe it. I couldn't understand it. Everything felt bleak. I've done everything to try and mask it. And I ultimately came to a point where I've got to go on an internal journey to understand that. And I had to find help. I found like a spiritual director. I found people to talk to. I went on my own journey around my creativity. And it's led me here to go, I've been on this journey and I want to help others to get back to themselves, to get back to their true essence, so they can be in a place where they operate fully and completely in line with who they are. And that does involve creating boundaries and telling people what's important to you. It often involves moving on from friendships. Sometimes it means changing work. Sometimes it can be just as simple as like creating space in your day, in your week, and getting back to your craft and practicing what's important to you. But sometimes it's a complete shift. Some of the conversations that I have with people are about walking away from their corporate world and setting up something new that's true to them. And sometimes it's just, hey, I really need some time to make this stuff happen. And great, whatever it is, like, you can figure it out. You're a brave, smart, wonderful, creative human being. You've got this. I believe in you. And I think if you take some time and space to unpack that. And when we start to create that space, and space is not just 15 or 30 minutes to make something. It's time to reset. It's time to get to bed on time, to get some more sleep, to eat well, to drink more water, all the things that you see all the time. And it's not just that those things are memes but they're like a framework and a foundation and scaffolding to support you to be the best version of yourself. So that you're not losing all of your hours to the infinite scroll or to staying up late or waking up with a hangover, that you're getting fresh air, that you're touching grass, that tonight there's a full moon, you're stepping outside and seeing the full moon and letting the light from that hit you and into your eyes, or you're getting up in the morning and letting the sunrise encapsulate you. You're feeling the cold on your skin, or the fresh air, the smell of spring arriving, well, certainly here in the Northern Hemisphere, or you're enjoying the summer in the Southern Hemisphere and enjoying those changes that you're starting to see there. And there's beauty in all of those things, and there's so much to engage in. But I just really encourage you to listen to that call, that cry of your heart, the cry of your true self, that's calling you to something wonderful and amazing, and reconnecting to that. Please do it. Go back and watch my last video and see what is the outpouring of somebody who left a comment and they've retired and they've connected back to woodworking and a practice that's really fulfilling for them, and just how that's so purposeful and intentional, you know. But I don't want you to have to wait till you retire. Like, I've seen the people that watch this video, like from 25-year-olds to 60, 70-year-olds, and don't wait. Now is the best time to do something about it. What's it they say? The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and now. So do something about it. Like I said, there's going to be a link in the description for a starter kit that's going to help you to create some space and connect you with a digital detox, just to help you get started making some space so you can not just create, but so you can support yourself, so that you can build a pattern that's going to help you feel great. And so you can start to unravel some of that stuff that's gone on in your life and figure out how you can be true to you, true to your calling, and true to your creativity. Okay. YouTube is going to recommend a video here for you to watch next. And I'd love for you to stick around and watch that. Okay. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you're getting on in the comments. Okay. Cheers. Bye.